Hello everybody, welcome back to the Bird of Dawning YouTube channel. I'm your host Morgan, and today I'm just going to talk about a little bit of the work I did. I was able to cut out my lee boards from some lumber I found that I had bought the main piece for another project, and that was the leftover stuff. I looked at it, I was like, that would make a really nice pair of lee boards. They're about 4 feet long, and they broaden out like an L shape, almost kind of how they're currently cut. I'll end up doing some extra work to them and whatnot, which will be pretty interesting. I think you guys will like that. But that'll be a separate video on the cutting of those, just a short video and how I cut those, and eventually I'll do another video where I'm actually shaping them properly and mounting them and stuff like that. But today anyways, today I was able to make some cuts on the bow and the stern of the canoe and place the wood for the BowSprit and the rudder mount in the rear. I don't know if you necessarily call it a transom. The transom's already mounted in the canoe, but it's just the wood I needed to be able to have a permanently mounted rudder back there. I will be buying a pintle and gudgeon set for the rudder, so it's technically removable, but I don't have any plans on removing it or whatever. So that was just the fastest way I could build the rudder and get this thing ready, because I got to get this thing done pretty quick. So what I was able to accomplish over the last couple days, I ended up removing all the fiberglass from whoever had repaired it before I bought it. All the fiberglass on the inside near the gunnels, I removed all that stuff. I cleaned up pretty well. I still need to sand the inside there near the gunnels and whatnot. I'll do that tomorrow. My plan is to do that and cut the plywood sheets I'll be using to, I'll be cutting some strips out, and I have to cut them to the shape of the canoe sides and whatnot, the shape of the gunnels and stuff. And I'll be stacking up 2 or 3 sheets of the, I believe it's 1/4 inch plywood, and epoxy them together, epoxy them in place, and eventually fiberglass over those, I believe, or maybe between them or something like that. I'll figure that out when the time comes. But biggest thing is I want to brace the gunnels on the underside as well, because I plan on adding a couple of side seats on both sides of the canoe near the center of the where, close to where the cabin is and stuff, mainly for if the Trimaran decides to heel over some, that way we can sit up on the the side of the boat, sit up on the edge a lot more comfortably, instead of just sitting on a little 1.5 inch wide gunnel rail. So I figured, adding 3-4 inch area of seats would give a nice little support for when that's needed, or even just piddling around on the side of the thing, fishing, or moving about on the boat. Can have some extra places to put your feet and stuff, or whatever. There's various other reasons for it, plus extra bracing on the boat. I do plan on this thing being worthy of putting in the ocean. As I said, this is going to be the tender for the Bird of Dawning sailboat I just recently purchased. So anyways, I'm going to show you guys what else I did here. Alright, so this is the wood that will help support the BowSprit, which will come out. It probably won't stick out much further than here, and this may get trimmed down some or whatever, but I was just kind of wanting to visualize a BowSprit mounted here and stuff. And then this will allow me to, I can put some carving pieces on this to, decorate the boat a bit more or whatever. Maybe I'm thinking some type of bird piece or whatever. I'm not exactly sure what I'm naming the canoe here, but I've got a couple names in mind, and maybe we'll make that a community, something that the Bird of Dawning channel community votes on or something like that. I think that'd be pretty nifty. Anyway, so let me show you what I did here. The main reason why I did this was it looks cool for one, but two, also I was going to be performing repairs on the front here anyways. So I was like, well, let's just do something cool and unique. So what I did, ended up cutting these 2 holes here. This one here goes into the main area where you sit and stuff. This goes into a sealed compartment or whatever that is basically some flotation area. I really didn't want to cut into here, but I decided, it needs some extra, just one piece going through, beefed up, would be all right. But if I can get 2 going through there, and that'll be really good. So, and then my plan is now, after looking in there, I seen some type of newspaper and advertisement stuff in there or whatever. So now I want to, which I've been debating on doing this anyways, I want to cut open the fiberglass area in there to access this, clean this out a bit more, because there's bound to be some other crud in there, especially since this was kind of leaking down at some point before the last person did some repairs on it. But yeah, so I want to clean that out. Heck, maybe even read the paper that was in there, right? I think that's kind of interesting stuff. I don't know when that, I don't know if that was from the factory or if that was, when somebody had done some repairs or whatever. My guess is when somebody had done some repairs on this thing. But yeah, so I just cut this out and made it so where I'll have to trim this up a little more so it fits a little better. But eventually, I'll be building up some wood pieces that will interlock in the back or on the back side here, and it'll really lock it down to the canoe. And then same thing on this inside, bottom side piece here as well. That way it's nice and solid, and then I can build it up a little more. I can make a nice BowSprit that can be removable if need be. In some cases or whatever, or whatever, I'll figure that out. That would probably be the easiest way to make it, but we'll see how it goes. And hell, it may be the hardest way to make it. I really don't know yet. But anyways, let me show you what I did on the stern back here. All right, so here's what I did to the stern piece. This is for the this is the Rudder Mount wood bracing pieces, whatever this is called. I'll try and see if I can't find the proper terminology for that. But I do the same basic thing where I did the two groove cut. This piece of wood is up here because the stern of the canoe was actually totally broken all the way through there. So I needed to level the 2 pieces of the canoe and keep it in place while I made these cuts, so it didn't change as I was making the cuts and whatnot, because it'd be relieving pressure and stuff. But so yeah, that's why that's screwed on there. There's a piece of wood underneath as well, and I just got 3 screws going down to hold it there. And then I basically took the same little pattern here that I had made for the BowSprit piece and transferred it, and then figured out, oh hey, I need to do this. Now I will say this piece is not exactly where I want it right now as far as the shape goes, or the size and stuff. But main thing is to mount the pintle and gudgeon set, it's got to be on a vertical line, right? So, and if I was to just cut this straight off vertical, there'd be very little stuff. I do plan on bracing it up and whatnot with some more wood, but still there's not very much material back here. So I still wanted to bring it up a little bit so I can just kind of accent it out, make it look nice and cool looking. But so my plan is, since I'm doing some stitch and glue work on my for making the outriggers, I figured I'll just do some extra stitch and glue work here. That way I can just keep this piece right here, and it'll be fairly solid. And then I can, I can cut another piece up here at this angle to mount to get glued up here, and then I'll plan on bracing it, and then give it a little extra shape. Like here, I want to bring it down so it kind of shapes with the shape of the boat a little more, right? So, and that's what I plan on doing, is a little stitch and glue work with some thinner sheets of wood, 1/4 inch maybe, or maybe 1/8 inch or whatever. Probably 1/4 inch is I think what I have laying around. So I'll do that, and basically I'll bring that up. Now I've got to I will have to go and put a design to paper exactly how I want this to work. Do I want it just a straight line, or do I want to go in and notch where the pintle and gudgeons are going to be? Like I said, I've got to kind of figure that out. Plus the fact that the rudder is also going to have a drop down rudder, for when I get into a little bit deeper water and stuff. And that's also why I've got this this piece of wood coming out here, because I'll want to be able to put some type of block and tackle, some type some type of pulley, something with some line on it, so I can raise and lower the rudder. But yeah, so that's what's going on. Something just fell in there. But yeah, that's what's going on back here. If you haven't noticed. Alright, so that was basically what I did on the actual canoe bits today. Other than the cutting of the lee boards, which that video should have already gone up before this one, depending on my editing order. But if you haven't noticed already, the boat is covered in a tarp. It's a tarp I had laying around, and like I said, it's still been raining quite a bit. The last couple days, I probably had to dump out anywhere between 5 and 10 gallons of water out of the canoe each morning, just because it was collecting from the rain. It just constantly rains around here, so not like Florida is much different. But hey, it's at least warmer down there. And I get chilly. I get quite chilly. But yeah, so that's the work that I got done today, and tomorrow will be a bit of a more early start, even though the weather's not supposed to be much better. I think it's still same basic weather for the next 7, 8, 9 days approximately. That's the Oregon coast for you. So yeah, thanks for joining me here on the Bird of Dawning YouTube channel, and I hope to see you again in a future video, and we'll see how this progress is going. I should be making a lot of good progress here. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be doing a bunch of cutting work. I'll be dry fitting more of the pieces for the BowSprit and the rudder wood I cut today, and then I'll also be measuring and cutting the cabin pieces tomorrow. I'm still trying to figure that one out exactly how I want it to go, but just a lot of things I do, I design on the fly, and apparently I'm not the only person that does that, so no big deal. Anyways, enough of the rambling on. My name is Morgan. Thanks for joining me on the Bird of Dawning YouTube channel, and I hope to see you again soon.